Hello, hello, my loves. Welcome, welcome to this morning's meditation. We are continuing to track along and tell the story of Enoch's ascension journey into the Metatron while taking a glance at what and where and how the story can be applied for us today based on a little, like just the slightest glimmer of perspective on where human consciousness has been at and how we've arrived here, and how Metatron, the construct, the essence, the living consciousness of Metatron can continue to support us. So we are wrapping up, obviously, today, our last meditation for this week. We are on Metatron, Governor of the World. And this is a big one. In fact, it's so big that we're going to do Governor of the World both today and next Tuesday. And then we will finish with his final title, the Metatron, as the Youth, which all are there's so much juiciness in all of this content, especially as we get into the Governor of the World. And part of the reason why this title is so significant in the ascension process is because it takes us to an element that we're all very well versed on, but typically don't sync and connect the higher constructs, if you will, from a frequency perspective to the embodiment part of the journey. In other words, when we think about doing big spiritual work, we may go in, we may grab big frequency, but ultimately we are, working with frequency that has to somehow, some way come into form. So through the title, Governor of the World, what we're really connecting to is the body, right? And is the environment that makes up the body. And the moment we make that shift from the big high spiritual, and we've been talking about the Metatron as the mind, and then we shift into the body, we know we're going 1,000,000% subconscious, intuitive, into the unknown, unseen realm. And so we have been tracking with this journey of initiating connection, identifying our purpose, moving into the traumas and what holds us back, really embracing the fullness of all of our darkness along with our light, right? Then we moved into our genius, and then rounding out with our beliefs yesterday, and now into the embodiment. It's like we get to take all of that future vision energy and somehow begin to harness it. And that is what this aspect, it functions within the construct of the matrix, also the womb, the DNA. Anything that is matrix oriented is absolutely going to fall under the Governor of the World. And what I love about the play on words with it being Governor of the World, while most of the Metatronic work comes from a masculine perspective, the Governor also has very much a feeling of a masculine energy because it's speaking to regulation, right? We are regulating. When we think of an engine and we want to top it out at a certain level, what happens? It's called a governor. You put a governor on it, like on a golf cart, and it can only go 30 miles an hour when otherwise it could maybe go 70, right? So we get to look at this from the historical construct and context of what is happening within the matrix. And the moment we make that shift, which I think is a pivotal realization, 2 key points. One, we are shifting into a feminine construct. We're coming out of the masculine. The forward, outward thinking mind energy is much more masculine, and we are moving into the feminine. And so when I'm working with, and when we're working with this aspect of the Metatronic consciousness and the channeling, it actually shifts into the feminine and references the living consciousness, references itself as the Metaraya, right? And the Metaraya referring to not the supernal matrix of the mind, but the supernal matrix of the womb consciousness. And that matrix is what gives both men and women alike, this is outside of actual gender abilities, but both men and women alike, the ability to operate the creation force power, right? To bring in creation force light and infuse it into our daily reality. So, in many ways, this shift from the masculine to the feminine construct, working Metatron in the masculine form, Metaraya in the feminine form, is truly, truly, truly where we begin to run our unique gift as humans, which is the field, right? It's not just about us going up and grabbing the big stuff. It is how do we take the big stuff, your future visions, what you are here to create, and bring it into this incredible field of embodiment. And these teachings are as much Metaraya as they are Magdalene teachings, priest teachings. They are all about embodiment constructs and truly blending frequency, the magic of bringing frequency into form. And it means that we get to govern it, right? We get to claim our sovereign right and our authority to be the creators of the energies and the carriers and the regulators of the energies we are running. So with that, today we are going to focus on making that connection to the matrix, if you will, to our own matrix. The Metatron cube is today's geometry that we're working with. That is a field. And ultimately, our goal is to be our own matrix, to hold our own frequency. So it first comes in through the Hara chakra. It integrates into the field. We build a field of energy around it. Our body creates this incredible field of electromagnetic frequency. The more in tune with your own blueprint, your own divine energy, the more sovereign you will be from the matrix of the environment around you. And then the more we can integrate that with the true Gaia matrix, the easier it is to feed that field. And then next week, we will tap into the DNA aspect of what we are up to, because that is where the real magic begins, and we'll be able to dive in historically. I didn't do too much contextual setup from where we're at with consciousness, but to just tap on it before we dive in, all you need to think about, and this is a big, long rabbit hole to open, which is too much for today's meditation, but is how creation force has been governed. Who has held the seat in the control of creation force? In other words, who has controlled the womb? Who is controlling the womb? From everything from what are current birthing practices, how much are people encouraged to be especially in the Western system, to go in, to use science to support versus where it has been before. And there's all kinds of rabbit holes around star beings and all kinds of fun stuff that we could get into, but we're not doing that today. So where I want you to focus on is how you can bring your own field. The easiest way to simplify this is how you can bring your field into sovereignty. So let's go ahead. Let's begin taking a nice deep breath in and a nice big exhale. Another nice deep breath in and a nice big exhale. And today, as we begin our journey, go ahead and initiate your light link, just sending that golden cord of light up to the heavens, up to the above. And as you do, knowing and trusting as you reach for that light, that there is a specific orb of energy here for you as we began our light link journey that you are birthing. There is a consciousness you are bringing in. So as you reach for that golden light link today, allow yourself to hone in, focus in, eliminate the noise. Just envision that sun becoming brighter and brighter until it is totally refined to exactly what you are here to be birthing, what you are bringing in anew. It may even begin to look bright white with some blues as you imagine it in your mind's eye. If you're much more physical, just feeling your body relaxing. And as You feel yourself drawing this light in as though you've reached for it off the top shelf and you're bringing it now into your heart as we begin to make the shift into the body, into the physical realm. My invitation to you is to take another breath and just slow your mind down. We use our current mind human construct is to let the mind be the generator, literally the generator of our energy. Our theme as we're working in Governor of the World is to generate and regulate our own energy. And so as you feel this light settling in, asking permission to work with your superconscious Metatronic mind as it settles into the back of the center of your mind. And as you feel that superconscious Metatronic field melting down and into your body, imagining that moment in time this morning when your feet first hit the floor. And instead of booting the system in the program that you booted, that your body, like the supercomputer that it is, booted up, go ahead and allow this to be the system without needing to understand it or know it. Just knowing that your Metatronic mind, that incredible brain that we have been refining and honing to this high degree of perfection to be able to run the field for us. Slowing down and allowing the heart system to boot up. Imagining the mind melting into the heart. Feeling the heart beginning to expand. And then dropping down into the belly. As you feel the belly becoming immersed in this like little mini diamonds of light, like snowflakes coming down from the mind, trickling through the body. You begin to imagine those snowflakes both outside and inside your dimensional realm. And you see them beginning to blanket the earth all around you. There almost could be a humming. I want you to seek and find and feel a humming resonance, a big engine rolling, humming along in the background, slowing your mind down. All we're doing is adjusting the speed. It's like downshifting gears so that you can harness more power. I spend a lot of time driving in the mountains, and you always are downshifting when you hit those big grades. You downshift for more power. And this is where our governors actually live. We have beliefs that kind of control and keep us blocked and limited up in the physical mind. But when we start to drop into the matrix, we're dealing with power. We're dealing with our power center. So just breathing in and out here, still holding that imagery if you're going visual, as you feel your body really slowing down, still holding that imagery of snow falling on the ground. Then I want you to imagine all of those snowflakes, those little mini diamonds of energy activating in the earth. The imagery for this may be very Avatar movie-ish, like the earth becomes luminescent and becomes alive. Nice deep breaths here. Staying with me, we're going slow, but really bring yourself to focus in on the pace and the rhythm and the speed of this frequency. We're dropping into the ruby flame. Again, the earth, the womb, matrix, the energetics of the earth around us, in its truest form outside of media and social media and 5G cell towers and satellite links and everything else, this matrix here that is mirrored. You imagine the neural network of your mind. Yesterday, we were focusing on expanding it outside of the body. Today, we're mirroring that, expanding into the earth. And so the neural network, like roots in the earth, is expanded all around you, but we're waking up, bringing to life. Yesterday, we spoke about 10 trillion bits of information per millisecond coming in through the gut. Well, how do you think that happens? We have more bacteria in our gut than there are stars in the universe. And those bacteria are also found in the soils. And so this pinging, as you're slowing down, you get to watch this pinging between your body and those bacteria that have receptors in the earth, and both all ping back and forth, placing, if they aren't already, both feet on the ground, letting those energies begin to circle and flow up into your body and into your system. And again, this is just like, for many of us, this aspect, if you're into working out, it's like getting really good, like finding that rhythm. And there's that moment in a workout where you think you're not going to make it. And yet, you have to. And if you just push, if you just hold on a little tiny bit more, all of a sudden you break through. You break through the walls and the barriers of your physical limitations. And so for the mind, that's what we want right now. We want you to hold the consciousness in the mind while just holding the field of energy around you. And I want to give your mind a few more things to be thinking about. Think about all of the spirit animals that support you. So feel into your yard, feel into your neighborhood. Feel the birds and the trees that come and sing outside your window. Feel the snakes that slither through the grass and everything around that is nurturing and providing for them. Feel the neighbor's cats, just feel all of it, and then feel the trees interacting with this bioactive field. Feeling the trees breathing in your carbon dioxide as they breathe out oxygen, and you breathe in oxygen. Feel yourself sinking the breath with the tree, and inhale for an exhale, and exhale for an inhale. All right. You should be feeling awake and alive and alert, but now really, really slow in the body, very much alive, like we're just humming down in the gut and in the field. So from here, we are fully immersed in the matrix, in the natural matrix at this moment. And what I want to invite you to do is just begin to shift into the dimensional realm, envisioning through your superconscious mind, through the Metatronic mind, the dimensional interconnectivity, meaning envisioning yourself at the center of the fields. So as though there are orbs of light, much like the stars having collapsed from the heavens above, all around you, but also the earth coming alive as stars beneath you. Again, the neural network of the mind, mirrored by the earth. Nice deep breath in until you feel yourself centering at the center of your heart space in orbs of light all around. And each of these orbs of light represent a point of connection to consciousness in your field. So you could have an orb for family, for partner, for business, for friendships, so on and so forth. Each one holds a neural connective point that you focus in on and feed energy to. Again, today we're just bringing you into your own worlds. We're not going to do too much. Next week, we'll focus on movement of energy and releasing some governors. Today, we just get to orient. Nice deep breaths in. Also, one of these orbs is spirit, is the matrix of the mother, the Gaia all around you. So if you were to be sitting in a beautiful garden at night, you could imagine this field looking like a bunch of fairy lights dangling all around you and beneath you. And you just get to hover, hang out right there in the center. Oh, nice big inhale and exhale. We are going through a massive energetic change and shift where the fabric of the matrix that we are all accustomed to has actually already been ripped open and ripped up. It is already shifted. It just hasn't caught up in a 3D sense with, if you will, events to actually shift the consciousness. Everyone I speak to is in a space of things being slow, waiting, stasis. So much of this is because at that deep energetic level, there is a culmination, a building, if you will, of energy, much like a volcano preparing to erupt. And so we sense it, we know it. And just like prior to a hurricane coming in or a volcano erupting, nature prepares, right? The birds migrate away from the area. I'll never forget living in Florida following a storm that hit the West Coast at one point. Within a few weeks, we were driving over to the West Coast across the center of the state. And as we did, all of these flooded rivers, I believe it was the St. John's, and birds, like it was like we lived what I would imagine driving through either the Amazon or this the watering hole in Africa. More birds and animals than you could ever possibly imagine. But they were there because they sensed the storm before it came. And there's a beauty and a magic in this as we tune in to this field and this frequency of nature and our true matrix, because everything that's been playing out in your life, as much as your mind wants to harness and take control of it, is needing us to hold the stasis, our means for preparation. Shift is coming. It's inherent in the field, it's inherent in the astrology. And whether you're capturing this meditation now or some point after, whatever the shift is going to be, just know that you're locking in this field here. And it is not about just going out and finding what the new is going to look like. There is magic in these birthing pains. And they maybe aren't even birthing pains, they're just contractions of energy going slow, unearthing the depths. A volcano is reaching into the core, to the center of the earth. So I'm giving all of these descriptors so you can find these frequencies deep within. So you aren't quick to try and rush over what is here in the moment for us as a collective in human consciousness. And no matter what the culminating event is, from a spiritual perspective, we know that there is always a breakdown in order to break through. So I'm not speaking to actually 3D things that are playing out. I'm speaking to what you can sense and feel in the greater field right now. Nature is very still, which speaks to deeper work being done. And the result of that deeper work that's getting done is that new ancient lineage is cracking open. So right now, I want you to feel down into your feet, reaching beyond the beyond, as though there is a depth within your soul that defies anything your conscious matrix can imagine. I want you to reach down and in. And as you reach as deep as you possibly can, there is a light, there is a spark, there is a thread, brilliant, bright, white light, diamond ray in the depths of your energy, going slow right now. I want you to pull that up. One little thread being brought through. I want you to reach for that consciousness. You know, when we plant a seed, we bury it in the earth, and somehow it comes out of its encased shell and it sprouts up, oftentimes white, until it reaches and that little shoot pierces above those dark soils. Right now, you are reaching down for that new white root within the matrix of the Gaia. It's within the Terra realm. Come on and find it and help it, speak to it, love into it, and let it burst forth as it stretches its intention and consciousness up into you and into your body. We are running the matrix. We are running the womb. We are running the ruby flame. And it is density that brings life into form. It is recognizing that in the density is the life. This is the gateway, the threshold. And so from that Metatronic cube now, we see this energy coming in from the center. And we see it like a vine beginning to wrap its way out and around all of our little lights in our fairy garden. And as they do, it burns, they increase their intensity. Nice deep breath in, exhale. Draw this energy in until it is such a strong, powerful force. It feels like you have a tail so deeply connected into the earth. I want you to envision that Metatronic cube. At the back now, we want to drop it down. We want to come into the body. So at the back of the spine, envisioning all of those fairy lights. And they're going to cross over. So we're going to go from Metatronic cube with its however many points. I'm going to say 3, 6, 7 if you count the center, if we're looking at it two-dimensional realm. And I want you to envision those lights spinning. There's way more than that. I get that. But I'm just trying to give your brain something it can orient to. I want you to envision it spinning like a disc. And then at the front of your belly, just behind and about at the solar plexus, that's where we are. You should feel a ton of pulsing in the front of your solar plexus. I want you to envision a 5-pointed star for the elements. And those 2 bottom points of the star are going to become one with 2 of the points on the Metatronic cube. As we shift from 5th dimension into 4th dimensional elemental, in that streaming energy, this could feel like plugging a socket, a plug into a socket. As we allow the elemental realm to come across. We're skipping a few steps here, but your Metatronic mind knows how to do this, and allowing that energy to begin to spin and swirl inside the body. So let's land it, feeling the earth that we just drew all of this light through, and the plant that represented it, coming into the fire of the lights within the fairy garden, drawing them into our body, your breath that becomes the oxygen that fans the flames, your spirit and your intention and your love, ushering it through the heart, and the heart carrying it out amongst all of the cells. And the waters that carry that love. So taking a moment to breathe, we've completed our field for today. But what I want you to do is use your inner vision to just take a look around inside your mind. Don't open your eyes yet, but feel objects in the room. Feel anchor points and sources of energy. You are more grounded now than you could ever be, and you are centered in the midst of this massive, it's at a global level. The consciousness is shifting and about to shift, because the shift that happens in the 3D is the pinning of it. You could think of it like COVID and the pandemic. There was shifting. We knew it was coming. There were things that were happening. And now we are on the backside of those shifts. And let me tell you, there was massive energy that infiltrated. We were focused on the distraction and the trauma, but energetically, it was cracking open so that you can be here today doing this work. Same thing is happening to humanity as a collective whole. We are integrating into the matrix of the earth in ways that are going to rattle and shake and break down old paradigm consciousness. And as you sit here with me today doing this work, know you are forging the fabric for the new matrix. It is potent, it is powerful. Universe, creator, your prayers are so heard and responded to. And the plan that is out there for you is so much greater. So just let yourself be happy and fulfilled and content right here. Because if you're holding your own field, you have done everything in your power. And I will use the expression, God is good and is so much greater. So let yourself be held in his greatness, in Creator's greatness. With that, we are complete. Coming all the way back into the matrix of your body. We're going to drop into the body, much more physical, DNA oriented, because that is truly the matrix of all of creation that connects us to our eternal links next week. With that, namaste, so much love. I will see you then.